Sound is a manifestation of the divine. When we listen to music, it connects our spiritual, emotional, and mental planes, every facet of our being, with the soul of the universe. The thing is, mantras are not some form of incantations tied exclusively to religious denominations. Absolutely not. Mantras carry vibrations. History bears witness to the extraordinary power of music to transform attitudes towards life, and indeed, to influence societies. A well-known philosopher, when asked about a particular country, once said, "Let me listen to the music of its people, and I will tell you what kind of nation it is." Greetings to everyone. We are presently in a concert hall, where, by the way, we recently hosted a dynamic, large-scale, and genuinely joyful concert, with participation of talented musicians. Allow me to share a few words about why Imram Kriya also engages in concert activities. I believe music has a profoundly positive and uplifting influence on the consciousness and soul of every individual. In my videos, I often mention that sound is a manifestation of the divine. And when we listen to music that resonates with us, it connects our spiritual, emotional, and mental planes, every facet of our being, with the soul of the universe. That's how it is, because when you are deeply moved by sounds and lyrics, you become a different person. Your spirituality awakens. Why mantras? In fact, not only mantras. I have compositions without lyrics, themed instrumental pieces that evoke imagery. I also have an album specifically dedicated to the spiritual aspect, focused on mantras. This has become quite popular now. It wouldn't be incorrect to say that I was among the first to commit to this kind of mantra-centric musical activities many years ago. This began back in the late 1980s. At that time, the circumstances didn't allow for recording this music or creating albums. Life was very different. But today, I observe many groups in the musical landscape who use mantras, study Sanskrit, and strive to bring positive vibrations into the world. I do the same and continue this work. I'd like to highlight that these are carefully curated albums, designed to offer individuals a therapeutic or spiritual experience, instilling feelings of confidence, stability, joy, and supporting the healing process. Instances of healing are known. Mantras have a very positive influence. The thing is, mantras are not some form of incantations tied exclusively to religious denominations. Absolutely not. Mantras carry vibrations. We know that sound is vibration. We know that sound is capable of changing the properties of water, as well as those of human cells. Mantras are specific and unique combinations of sounds that produce a particular impact. Nowadays, numerous individuals, including advanced scientists, are exploring the effects of mantras. Mantras are not confined to any particular religion. They represent cosmic symbols that enable us to awaken and transform our consciousness and nature for the better. Therefore, mantras, when arranged into harmonious compositions, are pleasing to the ear. I want to emphasize the meaning behind this music. We all seek joy, happiness, and health above all. And we utilize sound to attain these states. Sound and light. We attend concerts to see a show. We want to witness personal transformations. We want to see joyful people. We want to hear beautiful sounds and melodies. All this taken together is sound and light. The entire performance is centered around light. The staging, mist effects, the sound, and the people performing on stage are the key components of an event that fills us with joy. That's why we incorporate mantras and pleasing sounds. By the way, I make it a priority to select tracks and sounds in a sacred manner to make a positive and uplifting impact. For instance, I use the frequency of 432 Hz. The standard frequency is 44,100 or 440 Hz, which is not quite positive, shall we say. Yes, it was adopted for some reason, but there is a frequency of 432 Hz. Music or songs tuned to this frequency, even if not particularly spiritually awakening in themselves, still leave a positive imprint. This is because the frequency itself influences humans and their cellular consciousness. That is why we endeavor to make everything as beautiful as possible. In this regard, the team I work with and the compositions we create carry a profound meaning. The same is true for lyrics. If you translate the lyrics written in English, there are songs that we perform for a broader audience, for people who not only practice spirituality, but simply live their lives. For them, we offer songs in English that also convey profound philosophical meaning. As I mentioned before, I have instrumental compositions that embody a concept. First comes an idea which then transforms into sound, and that sound, along with the imagery it conveys, reaches the listener. One can also visualize and interpret the compositions personally, understanding the sounds according to one's capacity and perception. That's why we aim to make our creativity a form of artistic expression that includes a spiritual dimension, integrating it into our spiritual practice. This is why I believe concert activities, above all, are a form of spiritual practice. People who attend our concerts undergo genuine transformations. They don't merely experience fleeting emotional joy. They leave replenished with energy. It makes us happy to know this. As a personality, as a being, as a soul engaged in these activities, I find this very rewarding. Why do we pursue this activity? As I've already mentioned, our primary goal is to leave something positive in this world, to contribute to our society, to do something meaningful for people. Culture plays an important role in shaping consciousness. A well-known philosopher, when asked about a particular country, once said, "Let me listen to the music of its people, and I will tell you what kind of nation it is." Music reflects the essence of a country. Every nation has its anthem. Take Russia's anthem, for example, a truly powerful composition. Other countries have their anthems too. Of course, they reflect the mentality of each nation, and people find them fitting. But why am I bringing this up? The point is that the tonality, style, harmony, and everything else related to a piece of music have a profound impact. We know that even in ancient times, renowned philosophers such as Archimedes, and later figures like Leonardo da Vinci, and many others studied the influence of sound, essentially that of vibrations, and created compositions that were used for specific purposes. For instance, when an army marched to battle, the C major scale was employed. C major resonates with the Muladhara chakra, symbolizing stability and physical strength. Such compositions affected the consciousness of those heading to battle, providing support and confidence. This is how influential music is. Certain tonalities, on the contrary, have very negative effects. For instance, E-flat minor. This particular vibration can impact human consciousness unfavorably. This is why we approach the creation of our compositions with great care, selecting tonalities, scales, and harmonies that convey goodness. History bears witness to the extraordinary power of music to transform attitudes towards life, and indeed to influence societies. Therefore, it is best to listen to compositions written by renowned figures such as Bach, Beethoven, and Mozart. Of course, there are remarkable modern composers who create beautiful and exceptional melodies. But it's a matter of personal choice. In the Vedic tradition, there is a concept known as ragas. Simply put, ragas are compositions imbued with specific meanings. There are ragas designed to influence the physical body and health. An effect is achieved by listening to them. These compositions are so meticulously structured that the scales, harmonies, melodies, and even individual notes influence the consciousness at the cellular level, promoting healing. Some ragas work on the mental plane. For those facing cognitive challenges or diminished mental clarity, these compositions are recommended. By listening, the brain establishes new neural connections, enhancing an individual's social adaptability. Then there are ragas for the soul that awaken profound feelings. As you can see, this approach is very serious. Each sound influences space, consciousness, and different aspects of human existence at a specific level. These teachings and knowledge are ancient. Satya Sai Baba dedicated a great portion of time to bhajans, spiritual songs, because he believed they represented a vital aspect of spiritual practice in the contemporary world. When a person commits to self-development through reading, meditation, or other practices, listening to bhajans becomes a way to cultivate faith. Because the combination of lyrics and music in bhajans serves as a spiritual practice. They include a unique inner state that opens one's heart, purifies the mind, and awakens qualities that elevate us. In essence, they contribute to spiritual growth. Although this is a vast topic, I'll briefly note that today, bhajans, whether traditional spiritual songs or mantras or modern arrangements, are a powerful tool for spiritual evolution. That is why we focus on arranging mantras in beautiful and accessible ways, which resonate with and reach the consciousness of everyone, including those unfamiliar with the Vedic tradition. In my work, I travel the world, delivering seminars and performing concerts across this vast planet. Of course, different people attend. They come with their hopes, worries, and concerns. However, during the concerts, the positive sound that we create brings equilibrium. I notice how quickly people transform. It's as if they awaken and discover an inner spiritual strength. No matter what thoughts they arrive with, they leave feeling positive, joyful, and grateful. Sometimes I ask attendees if they regret coming to the concert, and they reply, no, of course not. We felt something within ourselves that we'd forgotten or perhaps never even knew was there. Now we realize it's always been within. This illustrates the profound positive influence of music on consciousness. Moreover, the intention behind the music, the transcendental energy that emanates, the mantras, the melodies, all these cosmic and even psychedelic elements, in the best sense of the word, combine to produce an incredible positive impact. Even if only briefly awakened, people gain reserves of energy and spiritual power. After concerts, many feel inspired to embark on a spiritual journey. They attend seminars or begin practices, whether it's Kriya or something else doesn't matter. They step onto a spiritual path. This is a very significant aspect. Our society is transforming in this way. Culture is what shapes our society. If a culture lacks depth, the consciousness of the people will reflect this lack. However, if we embrace the rich cultural heritage that we may have, and we do have it, we begin to awaken and remember it. By doing so, we influence ourselves, transform the space around us, and in turn, people begin to change. This process yields its fruits and results.